How you guys doing? This is Stockman here. Before I start, make sure to know I'm not a financial advisor, so please take my information as you wish. Now, today is Friday. Stock has not opened. It will open the next hour, um, more like 2 hours really, um, with a few more minutes in there. The stock will open, and we will witness a very exciting day today. We're going to really see what this stock is really all about after the big hype. I'm hoping that this big hype wasn't just hype. I hope it was actually improvement because of the new hires, the companies out there talking about, their dream are still dedicated, to help people and etc. Speaking about, of course, their new hires, but most importantly about some meetings they're going to speak to that. It's later on in the future, in the incoming months, possibly, but that they're going to speak about those meetings, and they're going to talk about it, inform people about it, explain to them what they're probably aiming for, but just basically saying that they're going to go ahead and try to speak to the FDA just one more time. There's rumors out there. There's many rumors about SESN Bio that personally we could get into here and there, but at the end of the day, is it really, is it factual? Is it real? Is it something that could be backed up with true resources, real people behind it already? And that's what we want to know, okay? Now, October the 12th, clearly we started the hype. Rocket started fueling up midday on the October the 12th, exactly what we wanted to see. As for yesterday, immediate boost and then stableness. That's exactly what we wanted to see. That's what we always want to see. Every time we have a nice boost midway throughout the day, we want to see the stableness, okay? October the 13th came. We had that nice little jump. We remained with some stableness. Actually ended up even going higher, but then started aiming for that resistance and actually trying to somewhat, it was still going up, but we're expecting some stableness, right? We're some stableness. Now, yesterday comes along. We're expecting to continue to see a stableness, a little dip, but we went right back up. And right there by 10:25, 10:30, we started dropping. I'm about to say dipping. We started dropping. And then out here, we're like, all right, man, like, when are we going to hit rock bottom? And I hope it's not this rock bottom. I hope it's some increasement. If we drop, I hope we're above from when we were on the 11th, especially after all the good news, right? Well, we just did that. We dropped pretty low to a low of 86. Let me take it to the graph for yesterday. You clearly see the dip, but immediately, mid-80s, SESN Bio recognized and say, hey, guys, let's stable the hell out, found some resistance. You can clearly see that nice U-turn right there, going for that nice little left corner. If you're looking at it from down, going down, you saw that little U right here, right? That little curve. That curve is clearly showing that it's starting to find floor, right? And now today is the truth. Today is the day of, is this going to continue to stable out, or is it just going to end up going down even more? We don't know that. But from what SESN Bio has mentioned, this stock should try to remain above the 86, at least above the mid 85. I feel that if we drop below the 86, SESN Bio doesn't really do good. Clearly, we had an issue with the 86 on October the 12th. Clearly, we were really unable to hit that 86. We almost did. But clearly, you can see right there when we hit the 86, we went back down, right? Now, if you saw now the next day, we woke up and we didn't even see the 86 no more. We basically overpassed it overnight, opening up for the next market. We overpassed 86. So clearly, that should have been a very big indicator that this stock is about to probably blow up. It just hit a really big resistance, which was usually the 86 mark. Clearly didn't even want to get near 86, hit the 85, went straight under, and actually found stableness real quick by the 82s, 83s, around there, right? I mean, it dropped like 2 pennies or so. Almost hitting the 86, dropped immediately, but found stableness. Aftermarket exploded. But clearly you can see that there was stableness from that same blow, from that same, when it blew, and it remained stable on the 82 plus, 81s, low 80s, but remained above the 80, okay? That's an increase. Believe it or not, that's an increase. That's almost 12% from when we were here, So that's something to keep in mind, okay? Now, if we see the increase out in the overnight, we can clearly see we went over past that 86. Literally blew up midday and it hit the dollar, okay? I still don't see a lot of stableness, okay? I see a lot of ups. I saw some downs there. I saw humongous up and then down, but then going up. But, there, if we were for today, yesterday, if we would have continued to see some stableness, then yeah, I'll consider that a good stableness. If today was the day that if we could hit the dollar back, that would be pretty great. But personally, from that massive little dip right there, clearly, cut us in half, really. Yesterday was a bad day. It cut us in half from the bull run that we had. But now what we have to clearly see today is some stableness, some trust grounds. If we're able to find that stableness, now we could work on that, okay? Now, clearly the stock did close at 88. It's after hours. So I don't really trust after hours like that. I tend to not really look at it. I'll look at the stock at what it closed at, which was 0.88. If the stock decides to open up on the 90 plus, that's actually very good. That could possibly mean that it doesn't want to even start in the 80s no more. It actually wants to start in the 90 and work its way up. Personally, if it remains in the 80.88, we should see a lot of resistance fighting with the 86, with the same of the 90. Okay, but clearly we can see here that the 90 was very achievable in the overnight, but still doesn't mean anything because it's still overnight after hours. Okay, that's something to keep in mind. Now, best thing we could do is remain that stableness. That's exactly what we want to do. Not what we want or wish, is what has to happen. It has to remain stable, because if it doesn't remain a stableness above 86, it's just going to drop back down, and we don't want that. But it's going to have to remain stable above that 86 mark. As I told you guys, that it clearly seemed to bounce right back up and start forming that stableness. It clearly did it twice, or was going to do it twice, but immediately recognized and went back up. So it's somewhat forming a stableness above on a high 80 plus, which even after yesterday cut in half, we're still up a 20 plus percent. Okay, well, 21 plus percent because of the after hour. But if we were to, stay with the 88, we're still up like a 19%. That I'll take that. I'll take that all day of the week. Okay. Now we have to remain stableness, and today is going to be the day. If I were to try to predict, as if I was in the whole video, but I was just trying to put a message out where it's like we had some stableness here, okay? We were expecting some stableness here, and actually ended up blowing up, and then the next following day we just saw a immediate dip. But clearly we kind of didn't see much stableness here. We just saw like an upward motion, but we didn't really see much stableness, okay? Whereas in here, yeah, we had a nice jump, little dip, a nice jump, but clearly you can see that the jumps are not that high from each other. Clearly can mean that there was a little resistance line there. And if you really look at it real good, that's 92, and that's like 91. All right, 92 really, rounding it up, but 91, right? Okay, but it's somewhat remained there, right? If you look at around here, where you could clearly starting to see there was not that much movement in those in that half an hour, but there was starting to see a line, right? Something that we like, right? Now that was an 87, 86, literally 87 on the dot. Well, from here, hitting that 86, hitting that almost 86, but it's actually an 87, going for the 86, we clearly saw some resistance here, saw some resistance there, and now starting to see some resistance there also. Today is going to be an exciting day because there are going to be two things. Either the stock is going to remain stable, or last, this stock is going to decide either to do a bull run one more time or do a bear hunt, and it's gonna go down. Okay, and that's what we're gonna have today. It's gonna be what I like to say, moment of truth. And then whatever we get the following week, it's what we get. But we have to see. That's like 2+ more days. You don't know if there's gonna be some information out, especially with the deadline right there. And then, so that's something to keep in mind. Right now it's 7:34 in the morning. I mean, SESN Bio typically can publish whatever they want at any time, or whatever time the publisher wishes to upload that to the web, or SESN Bio actually speaks. I mean, there's many things, okay? But most importantly, our main goal should be to remain stableness, okay? Now let's see what we could consider. I hope you guys have a good day. Stockman here. Don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor, so take my information as you wish. Have a great day now.